Good evening. This is the YouTube presentation for Chapter 13. When looking at the LMS, we were requested to do question 13.2, which I did do. I did do question 13.2, but after looking at it a little farther and after I was pretty much done with the report, I realized that what it was really asking us to do was problem 13.2 because it does list the page as 532, which is obviously the problem, not the question. So I thought I'd go ahead and present to you what I have for this question, and if I need to, I can always later on in the week maybe go back and do the other one. But I didn't have time to do that today, so I'll go ahead and give you what I have for now. Question 13.2 asks us to look at table 13.4 from the chapter. It's in the area of cash flows. And the title of it is HEP Replacement Project Net Cash Flows. And it asks us to work through four questions that it asks. The first one is why is the net salvage value shown in section 3 reduced for taxes? B is how is the change in depreciation computed? C is what would happen if the new machine resulted in a reduction in net working capital? And D, why are the cost savings shown as a positive amount? So using that cash flow table there, this involves firms investing in new assets, like machinery in this case, to increase sales. And so that's what they're looking at. The steps involved in this analysis of the cash flow include, first of all, making a summary of the initial investment outlays that are needed for the project. And I needed to estimate the cash flows that are going to occur during production, compute the terminal cash flow. And for the analysis, the textbook provides a table, which I just talked about, that shows the process of this expansion project. And it allocates the cost over the life of the product, or on this case here, it shows it from 2016 to 2020. You have to look at depreciation, and using this accounting technique, this is used in cost allocation. And it's done by businesses to depreciate the long-term assets for both accounting and tax purposes. That's the purpose for this here. So looking at the four questions that it asked me to work through. The first is why is the net salvage value shown in section 3 reduced for taxes? And you're able to indicate in section 3 there the return on net working capital at $1,400, net salvage value of the new asset as $1,200, and the terminal cash flow of $2,600. Wasn't able to break those down in a way that helped me to understand it fully, but I do know, based on what the textbook was saying, that this is done for tax purposes. The reason behind this is for tax purposes. So that's what I put down for my answer for that. For section B, how is the change in depreciation computed? The change in depreciation is computed by looking at the difference between old assets and new assets. For question C, what would happen if the new machine resulted in a reduction in net working capital? Net working capital is the amount of assets that are currently held that are financed with long-term sources of funds. A reduction in net working capital will show the way to a decline in the net investment. And question D, why are the cost savings shown as a positive amount? What our textbook talked about there was the cost savings that are connected with the new machine is going to mean less cash outflow for each year. There are less expenses for operating, but the taxable income increases each year. With less spent on operating expenses, there will be a cash inflow and value will be on the plus side. So that's those 4 questions that I worked with for my version of question 13.